I do a lot of things where I enter a room and I'm like, this way, and he's like, nope, you want to go the other.
And
just
it looks
totally
like our races are off.
They sure are. So nice syncing there. Just a couple seconds off. I like it.
Ooh, piece of heart. That's always nice.
Just a little bit of love.
Well, hey, you know the old song, all you really do need in this life is love.
That's all you need. Love is all you need. We got, so heart pieces, there's a lot of items early on. They might get enough heart pieces early on to get that extra heart, and extra hearts matter a lot when you've only got 3.
Very true, though I'd say that, honestly, out of the entire game, I'd say the Link's House chest and this chest coming up, basically the 2 that basically can be any item in the game, at least at the start of the game.
Pretty much. I think the logic will tend to, it can be, yeah, pretty much. Once you start finding items, it does mean you're going to be more likely to find items in places those items open up. But right now you don't have any items, so yes.
And Chrouya already getting 1 bomb off the guard, so he won't really need to farm for more, during the escape.
Yeah, bomb's very important here during the escape. At the end of the escape sequence, there's a bombable wall. Also, I think a bonkable wall, so boots would do it too if they were to get blessed with the early boots.
Boots will also do it, and as Rick constantly says, blah blah blah, you guys should know this already, so escape.
Yeah, that's a good. We'll just dust my hands off, come back in 5 minutes, and see what's going on. No, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna do the blah blah blah. 3 chests.
My question to you is, if you got, like our runners do, having a spare key, do you do the boomerang room now, or would you wait till you get Zelda?
I probably do it now just because that's what my muscle memory would tell me to do. Rather than try to find some tiny optimization, I would rely on my muscle memory to save me that time instead.
I know for me, I've toyed around with the idea of, especially when I was learning Randomizer and constantly, always being on low health, about considering getting Zelda first, because I could then always, use that checkpoint of, I have Zelda, if I do die, I will start back in the prison cell, instead of having to start all the way back at the beginning of the castle.
Both players, we'll see if they're in any danger of dying. They're picking up pots, so probably not. That's going to deal 4 sword swings worth of damage to this ball and chain guard. Goes down easily to both players. jkoper just a little better on health and time.
And they got your 20 rupees.
Yep, there it is. Rupees actually a little bit important. Early on, through much of the randomizer, you see rupees in a chest, and it's a bust basically, not what you're looking for. But very, very early on here, you're looking for rupees in case you need to buy bombs in Kakariko to pay the merchant 100 rupees, and of course you want to be saving up 500 for Zora eventually.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite strategies, and I still recommend it to people, is when you're going through escape and even into Kakariko, if you actually manage to find a bottle in a bee, a bottle with a bee in it, try letting it go by the bottle merchant, because if it's the golden bee, he'll give you 100 rupees for it.
Neat. I'm the one on the left, that's right. I am Mythical 9.
And I'm Magus 1, and let's enjoy this race.
I did lower it a little bit for you guys. Sounds like Chess Network. I love that guy. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. jkoper, a little bit ahead here. Still no bombs. Not going to be able to bomb that wall just yet. 3 chests there. You have to come back with power gloves to check those 3 chests. So it's a bit of a concern. But the enemies that are easier to kill and more plentiful are coming up in this later part of the escape, and this is where most players, I find, tend to try to find their bomb drops.
That's very true, though they also should be keeping track of their item count, because who knows, so I know a lot of players, they tend to find the map, aka the burrito, they want to skip the sanctuary chest.
Yeah, if there's only a map, no compass or big key situation going on. So if you check all the chests and you don't find that map, you know for certain that last sanctuary chest is indeed the map, and you can walk on by, save yourself just a couple of seconds.
That's very true, though. Do you think anybody is going to take the gamble and go to Southern Shore or Sasara, or do you think just the standard Kakariko route?
Well, they've only got one bomb, and they're not looking too good on rupees, so that makes the Lake Hylia play a little bit more appealing than it usually is. We'll see what these 3 chests have in store for us. jkoper getting more rupees. There's the map, so he's going to open the last one. More bombs, so I do expect the players now to go to Kakariko Village.
I know for me, I've tended to try to use the swamp area if I've got flippers, or if I feel like I might want to take the gamble, because I'll usually check the dam, check Mini Maldorn Cave, and then fake flipper instead of going to the hobo. I'll usually go to the right as soon as I get there, you know, fake flipper, or if I've got the flippers, and then just there's a whirlpool right near there that can immediately take you to Kakariko, which is very useful.
jkoper's saving quitting there, just a tiny little optimization. So he is probably not going to Kakariko, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually taking the gamble. With if he decides to pick Flipper and he doesn't want to go to the hobo, I highly recommend that he try taking the actual whirlpool there. I mean, it's really fast, it's really easy, and Chrouya just walked by where it comes out.
If he's going this way, I think he probably is going to be using those fake flippers, but whether he goes to Kakariko or something like hobo remains to be seen. He does find a bottle
with
in
green
the
potion
damn
too,
chest.
which is always useful.
Yeah, but the bottle is very important because that's going to let him have potentially one less trip through Kakariko now, because there's a sick kid there who only gives you his item when you have a bottle.
That's very true, though. I don't know about you, but I've heard various reasons for why players will tend to check either the inside of the damn item first, or, you know, get the outside item first. I've heard either the inside, it's because they want to actually run to it. You know, they hope they'll find the boots so they can run in faster, or that they will use the outside of the dam and just quickly pop out, see it's an item they don't want. And if it's not, they can just run back in real quick without, you know, having to take the time.
Yeah, it seems more like a personal preference thing. Small risk, small reward versus slightly larger risk for a slightly larger reward. Ultimately, not a huge deal. Bunch of rupees for jkoper so far.
A piece of heart, a full heart, and the shovel. That'll definitely help him out.
Yep, that's gonna open up. I mean, if he takes a different route over to Kakariko, or maybe from Kakariko, that's gonna let him swing by that shovel spot and have an advantage over Chrouya. Chrouya so far spotted a shield in Lost Woods, decided he didn't want it, left it there. Gonna go shieldless.
I know I'm always a fan of having a shield, and oh wow, the mirror shield. Well, I guess he's got a shield anyway.
Yep. Much better shield. This one will block fireballs and also mimic beams. jkoper not going to check Ice Rod Cave, instead going straight to the fake flippers trick and struggling with it a little bit.
I know that's something even I have a problem with, and I will tend to try to keep it up until I get it, but at least I've gotten it. It's a little easy, but at the same point it's also a little hard.
Somewhere in between. He does finally get it, so he's going to be checking the Lake Hylia item spots. Another bottle, probably not too interested in that, and he is going to be heading on over to Hobo, while Chrouya continues his exploration of Kakariko Village, checking out the plethora? I can't remember how that...
Oh wow, the mushroom. Very fetch questy, you know, type of seed so far, wouldn't you agree?
Yep, they've got the mushroom and the shovel, the two biggest offenders of fetch quests, if you see them that way. jkoper.
The hook shot! Now that's big! Oh, but the hammer from Chrouya!
All right, so okay, things are opening up. Still no way to get up to Death Mountain yet. which is the biggest advantage of the hook shot.
And
But one more item.
We're looking to check the shovel spot on his way to Kakariko.
Still got a little ways to go. Chrouya mostly done with Kakariko here. A couple last few places to check. With that bottle on the Lake Hylia item, we know where 2 of the bottles are. Makes it pretty unlikely Chrouya finds the 3rd or 4th here while he's in Kakariko, so he probably is going to have to come back to get that sick kid item.
jkoper not wanting to grab that little piece of heart, which I think that would have made us 4.
I think they're at 2, if any.
I'm pretty sure he got, what, 2 in the cave and then 1 from Link's house?
The library item had half magic, and now both players, bit of a high five there at the race game. Neither player looking to complete the race for a heart container. Pretty good. Quarter magic. I missed the.
Oh wow, that's even
ratio.
Better. They'll
yeah,
both probably be back for that one.
It's about twice as good, if the math checks out.
You're right on that one. I mean, it's one of those locations that just having it by itself, my god, in late game, it is a godsend.
Yeah, Fire Rod, 32 uses with that bad boy. You can be very liberal with where you want to spread that fire around. Here's the sick kid item for jkoper. Big advantage he had from his
and
route.
a 3rd bottle.
An additional bottle. Awesome. Great. Really glad I did that, he says as he continues his exploration. Chrouya is going to be checking out the dam here, so he's going to get that bottle. Bomb going the wrong way for jkoper.
I know we all have problems with throwing bombs, especially with the bomb jumps too.
Yeah, those are... I mean, facing the right way before you throw a bomb, usually not a problem, though admittedly sometimes it is. Bomb jumps vary greatly in difficulty. We'll see if players are familiar with the Ice Palace bomb jump. One of the more useful, probably the most useful bomb jump to learn from Randomizer.
It is, and I agree with a lot of players that once you do learn it, you will remember how to do it. You may not get it all the time, but you will, know when you screw up, and can usually get it, on a consistent basis.
Down to half a heart is Chrouya. We'll see what he decides to do with this Moldarm. He's gonna... Yo, the Moldarm zigged when he should have zagged. Chrouya gets tagged by that Moldarm. That is a death for him before he gets to check out all those items, and he's probably gonna want to go back for him. So that is a hefty time loss of, what, 45 seconds, a minute?
I'm not sure myself. I really never timed it on that one. Though, then again, I've always wondered, what is more efficient? Going down to the Sanctuary, both, almost full screen transitions? Or going to Link's house and then going to the dam that way? Which would actually be faster as far as a true time sync goes?
I would think Link's house, if I was just eyeballing it. But yeah, maybe that's one of those unexplored optimizations. One Moldarm sort of transferring over to the left side to join his friends. He does die. Oh, Moldarm hits him for 1 and knocks him into the pit for another. Also down to 1. Does not want to die again. Is going to be throwing bombs at him and does get a bit of luck. Moldarm cooperates, gets that Moldarm down.
And finally gets it. And so I think Chrouya will probably be getting a full heart after this.
Yep, so he's up to 2. He will still get one shot by those crabs if he wants to try to make his way up to the Ice Rod Cave. And after 1 death early, I'm sure he's got to be worried about that, so I won't be surprised if we see him, like jkoper, opt for the fake flipper. Oh my god, another one! The very first crab gets him. I don't know why they do 2 damage this early in the game, but they do. And it's enough to take out Chrouya for the 2nd time.
I think it's mainly because they don't want you to go through like Hylia yet. I think the game's intended design is probably go to Kakariko, maybe check out the mini Moldarm Cave, but immediately after that go to Sasara and the Eastern Palace. But that's my guess on it.
Speaking of Eastern Palace, Chrouya, no interest in braving Lake Hylia anymore. He's going to be heading up to check out the Sahasrahla items. He has no bow, and I don't think we've seen a map from either player. So unsure about his motivations to head into the nearby Eastern Palace. So far, I think probably not a great play.
Well, considering, yes, we really haven't seen a map yet from either players, but with Chrouya just picked up the actual Master Sword, which is always good.
That's going to help him with some of his combat troubles that he's already had so far. Hopefully that doesn't get in his head a little bit. Really important to shake off stuff like that and continue on playing your best. It's a lot easier to do that when you've got a sword that has much damage in your hand.
I think he might actually either be heading for Gina's Cave, or however his name is pronounced, or maybe up to Aghanim? No, wait, it's
Got the
looking like
mushroom.
he's going out for the shrooms.
Yep. Koper exits out of the Lost Woods. He already had the mirror shield, so he definitely was not interested in the small shield. They've checked pretty much the same places here, except Chrouya's opted for the Sahasrahla items. jkoper has done the fake flippers swim over to Hobo for that hook shot, which is a great find and is still a huge advantage for him over Chrouya, and it looks like he's going to be keeping that advantage for quite some time.
Yes, it is, unless the mushroom item is the flippers, but I don't think so.
We'll see in just a moment. Both players are heading over here to the mushroom item. Chrouya's here first.
Just
He's going to spot.
$20.
Yep. Not what he was hoping to see. He's going to save and quit out. Doesn't have the rupees for Zora's Domain, even if he wanted to make that. It would probably be a bit of a gamble at this point without the flippers. And there's a couple other places left.
The two
for these
main
players.
places you have left are Eastern Palace and the Gina's Cave, and I think those are the two main goals for it. I think Chrouya is going to go check his shovel spot, which I forget what it was, but it should be useful.
Piece of heart. We'll see if it is indeed a completed heart container for him. If he decides to pick it up, he is. And
He's down to one more needed.
jkoper heading off to Sahasrahla. Now that he knows shovel and mushroom didn't lead to anything, he might realize with his options as limited as they are, Eastern Palace starts to look like a more appetizing route to go. So he's going to check out these Sahasrahla items. He's going to be mildly
Amused,
okay
I guess,
finding the
because
Master Sword.
he's getting his Master Sword.
And then we'll see where he's going to go from there. Chrouya, got that bottle, and really would not want to go all the way to Zora's Domain or into a dungeon without being able to finish it. So he is going to double check that bottle item, which is also a bottle. Also going to be disappointed with that. jkoper fighting the I don't know what that is. It's not an Armos statue. I'm not sure, but
I'd consider it an Almost statue, though I'm not sure. And looks like Chrouya is taking the play for Aghanim, which is actually a decent play right now, considering it's one of the only few options.
yeah, the options are extremely limited, and just the way the randomizer works, it tends to want to point you towards that pyramid when you don't have something to continue exploration into something like Death Mountain or the Dark World.
Very true. And chat, could you tell us which of the music you're hearing, either the Palace music or Cooper's Eastern Palace music, and if it's Light World or Dark World?
I got his stream open actually, and I'm pretty sure that's Light World music.
Okay. Because since I don't think either of them have opened the map yet, it would, help us both out.
Chrouya's in Aghanim's Tower. Master Sword gonna help him out with this series of events. He needs to go through here, a lot of combat here.
I know if you don't really care about the ability of money or whatever items you're getting, Boomerang or the Hookshot really do help out because they will allow you to stun boost the guards.
Yep, that is a big help. It also helps here in Eastern jkoper, hookshotting over a gap to get to a chest on the right side. Lets you avoid a couple rooms. Nice little trick to know.
I would also say that basically, so difficult. You got not question. You got any guesses on the pyramid item?
There's a lot of options still. A glove opens up Death Mountain. Book would open up Desert and some tablets now. Assuming you could get to the tablets, which you can't yet. But, and there's my old favorite, the Moon
would also help. Plus, also the flute would also open up Death Mountain as well.
Yep, you can flute right on past those rocks that block your way up Death Mountain, and you can also go check out some areas of Misery Mire. If you've got the Moon Pearl or you're savvy with a glitch or two that are pretty hard to execute, actually. I don't think we've seen anyone use variations of Bunny Revival or Super Bunny to check the Misery Mire chests.
Player attempt to do Bunny Revival and Ice Palace, and I forget who it was, but someone did manage to pull off the Super Bunny in the mire.
Oh, neat. Finding the blue cane is jkoper, King of Samaria, or King of Brian.
I've also heard King of Brian as well.
Yep. Limited usefulness, but it does have some things that you might want it for. So we'll see if he decides to put that to use.
Like the blind fights.
Yeah, it does.
They're both low on health. So I'll ask this of Chat. Chat, get your guesses ready for what the pyramid item is going to be.
In the meantime, he's going to have to go through the Aghanim fight. jkoper is going to be ducking into the right side of this area of Eastern Palace, where there is, 90 rupees up for grabs? And you're still saving up for
myself
Zora?
On that one, but I know that it's also useful. Plus, they also, the boots would also help here too, because of the fact of giving access to the funk locations by Sanctuary.
And with Aghanim down for Chrouya, it also opens up the Lumberjack item, which we know is nothing good. And Quarter Magic as well in the library. Boots would be a pretty decent find indeed.
Yes, it would. And if you had his hooks out, if it was the Moon Pearl, you could always head over to... oh wait, this is not the glove, so we really could not get over there, but here it comes!
I think some of these recent guesses in chat are correct. The
flute!
Ooh, I was gonna say Power Glove, but we're proven wrong. jkoper, going for what? Some rupees here under pots. Wants to get topped off, reach that 500 breakpoint.
Go for Zoro.
He sure is.
But Chrouya making the right call and getting the flute. Makes you wonder though, where is he going to flute to first? I'm thinking Death Mountain.
Well, he doesn't have that hook shot, but all the same, I would probably expect him to flute there. Though the first thing I would have expected was that he would go to Kakariko to unlock the flute, but he is traversing southward.
Check the oboe first, maybe?
He will be very happy indeed if he does. That hook shot he gets works well with this flute to get him access to a ton of chests up on Death Mountain, so this is a big deal if that's indeed what he is doing down here in Lake Hylia.
Very true, though. I'm betting you the Ice Rod Cave might have the mirror, though.
It could, but we're not going to find it for now. Chrouya indeed activating Fake Flippers, and he gets a first try, by the way. Gonna go by and see that bottle on the ledge for the Lake Hylia item. Not too interested in that. Gonna keep going. We're gonna see that hobo. We're gonna see that hook shot. Probably gonna see a save and quit over to Sanctuary. Meanwhile, jkoper, just a little bit more to go to crack this this 500 number. He could have just gone with 493 and tried to find the rupees, scrounge him up on his way there. A bit risky.
If I recall correctly, all the enemies that you do stun and kill, I think at least drop a green rupee, if I recall correctly, in this person.
Yep, we did see someone trying to kill Zora's for, I think it was 7 or 8 rupees. And they were farming a 5 rupee drop, basically, and their better option was probably to just be stunning them and collecting 1 per, because they killed an awful lot more than 8 Zoras to get the rupees they needed.
It looks like Chrouya is going to go get his flute, going while jkoper's going to Zoro.
We'll see if he's kind of close to Ice Rod Cave. We'll see if he wants to head up that way. It's not appealing when you don't have the boots or flute, so he's gonna keep going.
Good. Makes you wonder though, how long till jkoper actually decides to maybe check out Aghanim if he doesn't really find anything to get to the flute.
Yeah, it's probably hit by once by the crab, tracked down and hit once again. Both players now with a death at Lake Hylia. jkoper's a fair bit worse. He was a lot closer to that Ice Rod Cave before he got pinched, and that sucks for him.
Yep, and now Chrouya having the flute activated, which, chat, you know what to do as far as the swag duck goes, but this will be very interesting to see what the old man gives him too.
One of a number of items available to him here on Death Mountain. Boots in Mirror and Titan's Mitts, I think, would all be pretty... Well, you'd need the Moon Pearl, I guess, to get the most out of Titan's Mitts. But any kind of glove would be a nice progression item.
And the bulk!
Nice, we got some reading material that's going to open up some of the early parts of Desert Palace. No fire source or boots yet, so you're very likely to be kind of walled off and unable to complete things there, but there's definitely at least a couple things you can check.
And I'm pretty sure neither of them have actually truly checked the map. I mean, I haven't seen it, have you?
I have not. So, I mean, I'm very bad at catching those maps.
Oh my god, the Moon Pearl!
It's up there on Spectacle Rock. Gonna need the mirror to get it, but it's nice to know that when you have that mirror, you're gonna get a complimentary Moon Pearl with it. We're gonna jump straight down to East Side Death Mountain. Hookshot can unlock this. jkoper, meanwhile, finally did make it all the way to the Ice Rod Cave and was rewarded with a measly 20 rupees. Not to mention he was farming rupees earlier, so if he had kind of gambled a little bit and come here with less than 500, that would have put him over the top, and maybe he wouldn't be so bitter about finding it. Either way, he's here now, on his way to Zor's Domain.
I know for myself, if I've got the access to it, and I've got like the mushroom with me, I will sometimes actually just pop in and actually take care of that as well, especially early on. And oh, the mitts!
That's a good find. He has no flippers, so he's got no way to get them, but he's got that knowledge. Knowledge very important in Link to the Past Randomizer.
And knowledge is power.
That's
but
what
it makes you
what
wonder where the flippers are. I'm betting it's in his cave.
I bet they're right here in Death Mountain. I bet Chrouya's gonna find him just any second now. Just open them up, boom, there they are, and then the last one is... Alright, they're not here.
That's mainly because, remember, Chrouya had to fake flipper to get the hook shot.
Oh, yes, that's
right.
right.
Oh, there's the power glove!
Alright.
Playing with power now.
That's gonna get him up to Death Mountain if he so chooses. I think that's probably the best play at this point. But you're right.
What's really funny about that is that also means that both ledge item and there were the actual mitts. Zor's Domain making gloves, maybe?
Yeah, 90% of the world's gloves are crafted by Zoras. Pretty sure. Chrouya...
Yeah, that flippers. I mean, the only thing they need is an actual boot factory, and they'll have 100% of all Hyrulean clothing too.
Yep. All the tunics, that's them. They were the ones that came up with red being the most powerful, actually.
And what's even funnier is that they can also make one that will allow you to swim waterfalls too. At least according to Breath of the Wild.
We got all kinds of facts here for you guys today. Fact that Spiral Cave did not pay out for Chrouya, and he did it without the boots too, so it's a heck of a walk. Death Mountain, a little bit of a bust here. He's got that book, and he knows where the Moon Pearl is, but really not the
and he forgot to check
explosion
either, though.
He does have the hammer, but he doesn't have a glove that I think he needs to get over to that tablet.
No, you can get there with the hook shot. Oh, the mirror!
All right. mirror spied by Chrouya up there on the desert ledge, so he is going to be able to use his newfound book from Death Mountain and head up that way.
Very true, though technically jkoper could, if you would like to, actually go through all of the east side, get up top, and then also check out Hera, because of the fact that all you really need is the hammer once you're up there to hammer down those pegs.
So that we don't know if it's a pendant or a crystal, but there are a couple of items there in Hera, and it's a pretty short dungeon, and combined with the ether tablet, it seems like a pretty good play. We'll see if jkoper opts for it, or perhaps like Chrouya, he might not even possibly be aware that it's an option from that point. Trying to get this Moldarm out of the way with his hookshot. Finally does get it down. Chrouya opening chest, finds flippers here in Desert Palace, so that's going to restore the balance in the sequence. Both players broke that sequence a little bit using fake flippers to get the hobo item, but now the randomizer logic will account for them having the flippers and the hookshot.
That's because now they would get the hookshot, the old man giving the book, which would want them to lead to desert to get the flippers, to get the hookshot, to then clear out all of East Death Mountain.
Yeah, if he gets well, the mirror is also here in Desert Palace, so that's going to open up some more options. But it is very, very possible that the game is kind of pointing them up towards Tower of Hera and that ether tablet. We're just going to have to wait bated breath to see if jkoper heads up that way.
Very true. So the game's logic would either have you run through all this or take on Aghanim and get the flute. It seems like they were giving you a choice of which would be the smarter play, Aghanim or all this running around, which isn't bad. It just depends on your preference. How much do you hate Aghanim? Pickle?
Some players really, really don't like doing Aghanim, and it's a couple of minutes of time sink to go through the whole thing, and you're not going to find any items. It's just kind of the one on the pyramid. So a lot of players will leave it for, sometimes dead last, and sometimes that has them checking some pretty far away places, and when that ends up being a required Aghanim, that can really suck. But some players are a little more willing to go check it out, a little more trusting in the value of the pyramid item and what the opened up Dark World portal can do for you. And so it's always been interesting to see who opts to do Aghanim and who doesn't.
I know I'm always a fan of doing Aghanim, especially if I have the Moon Pearl. Because if I have the Moon Pearl and any item that will allow me to actually get further in the Dark World, I will in a heartbeat take on Aghanim versus the other areas, because I value that Dark World access. Because I know even if the item is a bit of a troll, I have access to Pod then, which can have a lot of items.
Yep, if you've got if you have the bow, you have a very low chance, I think, of not being able to explore much of that dungeon. But if you don't have that bow and you don't get the key you need on the left side chest, you can get walled off there pretty hard. So it is a bit of a gamble sometimes going to an early Palace of Darkness.
Very true, though I feel that honestly it is a somewhat smart play, and sometimes the logic may reward you. And Chrouya just about to pick up his Moon Pearl, which he should be happy about that.
jkoper doing the same as Chrouya, leaving Death Mountain after checking Spiral Cave, so he is not going to be heading to the Tower of Hera, not going to be checking Ether Tablet, and not going to be creating an interesting difference between these two players and their two routes.
Very true. Very, very true. It looks like Chrouya is about to check Ether, but we still haven't seen a map from them. Chat, correct us if we're wrong, but I haven't seen one. Have you?
I have not. I am notoriously bad at catching the maps from players, but I have not seen one.
Only $20 for Ether, but do we know what music is playing in Chrouya's, or are we only checking jkoper's?
I can load that up in just a moment.
Thank you very much. It's the easiest way we can tell what it is since they won't check their maps for us.
Hera is a crystal, and I think Desert is a crystal as well.
Okay, that's very good, because then we know that as far as the Light World goes, Eastern's pendant, and then the other two are crystals. So that means there will be two pendant dungeons in the Dark World, and so we don't know what they are yet. We at least know that there, at least two of the larger dungeons will probably not be needed.
Yeah, it's always a nice relief for the players to know that they don't have to do certain troublesome dungeons, big offenders, Ice Palace, Misery Mire, Turtle Rock.
I'm glad Chrouya remembered that he did not have the bombs equipped.
Yes, that is a thing we saw. Still, though, once you got the bomb equipped, you still got to place it right. So he does not get that bomb jump. He falls down 2 levels, and rather than try to fool around hitting the switch, he's just going to mirror out to the other side of it. He does have the hook shot. He doesn't have the boots to bonk back across, so he would have to fall. And in that case, I think you're probably better off doing it the regular way.
You're right there. It does make more sense to do that. Though, who knows? Maybe a fire source in there? But that's just a guess here. Or even the boots.
Either way, he doesn't want to have to fight these Moldorms again. He's had bad experiences with them so far, and he's down to 2 hearts. He's going to open that up and find the compass, and he is going to do this the old-fashioned way this time.
Very true, but the old-fashioned way is sometimes the best way when you're not sure on how to get there, or you're just not confident in your bomb jumping skills. I know I've done that when I've needed to. Just a heart container for Chrouya, but hearts are always useful in this game.
Yeah, that's really not the worst thing. You've already had, 2 deaths now for Chrouya. And Moldorm, notorious for his antics, and you're pretty low on hearts. You got the hammer and the Master Sword, but you still need to kind of earn your victory here over Moldorm or see what Chrouya has in store.
Very true. Very, very true. I know some of the nicknames I've heard players call Moldorm is Trolldorm.
Yep. Very, very common nickname, and he has earned it with his shenanigans of knocking players down. But none of that for Chrouya. Spin, / finishes him off. Earns himself a crystal. Meanwhile, jkoper, now with the flippers, is back up here in Zora's domain.
He's picking up his Titan's Mitts. And he also has the mirror now, so he has access to the Village of Outcasts too.
Yep, assuming he goes up to Death Mountain to get the Moon Pearl, which he knows is there. I'm sure he will. And I guess he could also check out some of Dark Death Mountain as well while he's up there. Chrouya finally going to be heading to Ice Rod Cave, feeling a little braver with the Master Sword and the 7 hearts. And of course, has no problems with any of the crabs this time.
And he's just going to get some money for his efforts. But, let me ask you, difficult. Which would you go to? Dark World Death Mountain or Village of Outcasts and have a shot at 2 dungeons there?
Well, you got to go up to Death Mountain first to get that Moon Pearl. And while you're there, there's a lot of things here to do. You got the Ether Tablet, you got Tower of Hera, and you've got the Dark World options. So I would probably try to sweep through and clear out a bunch of this stuff while I was here. But if that was not the case, I generally favor the areas around Village of Outcasts and all the easy pickings chests they have around that area.
I agree with you there. Looks like Chrouya is going to be very disappointed. He's going to spend 500 rupees for the Power Glove and then go immediately pick up the Titan's Mitts.
Yep, we saw jkoper actually get some use out of his Power Gloves, just a little bit, before upgrading to the Titan's Mitts. Not for Chrouya.
Yeah, Chrouya is going to wish he had his 500 rupees back.
I mean, that's got to be like a designer glove, though. Like its lifting ability is clearly inferior, but in terms of getting you noticed, I mean, it's got to be worth something.
Oh no, it just allows you to control NES games with your actual hand versus an actual D-pad.
I mean, that is just magic, basically. That is straight up. You can't put a price on being able to use your hand as a controller.
Especially old school games too, where I don't know about you, but when it works, and it works nicely.
When it works being a huge conditional statement when it comes to the Power Glove. Alright, so jkoper making his way into Tower of Hero. We'll see if he does indeed decide to check out some of the Dark World options here on Death Mountain afterwards.
I think Chrouya's heading for Hype Cave, so chat, let's get some hype in this.
Yeah, there's a lot of items left to find still. Canis and Maria both right. Oh, we saw the Dark World map. I'm gonna see if I can pause this on the right frame. I got it. So we got Turtle Rock is the green pendant, and Misery Mire is a red pendant. This is fantastic news
yes,
for
it
the
is.
Players.
That means only Ice Palace out of the 3 horrible dungeons are needed.
Yes, Ice Palace also happens to be Crystal 6, Thieves Town Crystal 5. Those are noted to be special because getting both of them unlocks the Super Bomb, which lets you get 2 items at the Pyramid.
Double-chested fairy.
But we do know now, Canis and Maria, not required. Most likely. Still a chance in Ganon's Tower. Ice Rod, not required. So a lot of the missing items that can be in Hype Cave here, that list just got narrowed down, and of course, while I've been staring at this paused map, Hype Cave has indeed been explored, and I hope you were paying attention because I'm pretty sure you found the boat.
Yes, he did, plus also some love, and looks like Chrouya is checking out Swamp, which is right in the area. He's got all the items needed for it, so why not complete it? It is a crystal, so it'll bring up his second crystal.
Yes,
and jkoper getting done Maldron right now.
He's facing the wrong way to protect himself from the almost caught him there. Does hold on, holding his sword out and holding towards the inside of the platform to prevent you from falling off even when Moldorm's like right on top of you. Does finally track down that last hit. Pretty scary there, touch and go, but does get him down.
Very true, though I know for myself, I may not be able to hover, but I have learned to at least claw myself back onto the platforms, you know, very easily. Well, not so much easily, but it has worked for me.
So Chrouya is blowing open this first chest here in Swamp with Hammer, Hookshot, and Flippers. He's going to be able to clear out this whole dungeon. And there's 6 items, I think, waiting here in Swamp Palace. So this is a great early pick when you need items. Even though if you are in go mode, you can save quite a bit of time checking some of those chests. So it's a bit of a two-sided sword, I guess.
Right on that one. I mean, yes, there are 6 items here, at least according to Cross Products Tracker. Shout out to Cross Product for the fact of just helping us all out for making such a fantastic tracker. But yes, there are 6 items in here to at least get.
jkoper did decide to do Dark World Death Mountain, and while he was there, he checked the map. So now both players have clued in to the overworld situation, and we'll see what Chrouya missed here on Death Mountain.
And jkoper opting to do the hookshot strategy instead of using the vanishing block trick involving the mirror. But that's also a fun, trick to do once you know it. It's essentially anytime you move a block inside. Oh, the teleport sword for jkoper!
Nice early find. Hoping for a progression item, perhaps in Hookshot Cave, but he'll take that for now.
Very true. Though, as I was saying, essentially what it is any area you can use the mirror that, well, you really couldn't use the mirror. If you do that while pushing a block, it will vanish the blocks. At least in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game.
Yeah, blocks take on weird properties when they're moving from one spot to another. I think they go from like a background object to a sprite, and so.
And there's the 4th bottle.
All bottle locations known and nothing else here. in Hookshot Cave for jkoper. He's got the Cane of Burna, so he could brave the Spike Cave if he wanted to head over that way, but he is not gonna.
And I've seen Spike Cave actually have several items before. Definitely Chrouya remembers the last chest in the Swamp Palace left side if he wants to check all that, because I know that chest myself has trolled me on a few times.
Yeah, you do enough randomizers and every chest has trolled you at some point. It's important to keep in mind the value of each one in terms of likelihood and time cost to get there, and other, a couple other factors.
jkoper is headed for Village of Outcasts. You think he'll pop into Thieves Town? He's got all the items for it. Or do you think he'll clear out everything on the overworld map first around here? I'm personally hoping that he does both.
Well, he will definitely do both eventually. The order in which he does them, hard to say. He's probably, Tempered Sword, he's probably going to be okay. I don't think there's anything he'll find that'll make Thieves Town kind of go easier for him.
Oh, and the Fire Rod for Chrouya. Now he can actually finish Skull Woods, too.
And Desert Palace was a crystal, so he can also go back and finish that when he needs to. It's pretty out of the way. I guess you're not going to combine it with Meyer if Meyer's a pendant.
Oh, and the Silver Arrows for jkoper.
Nice find for him, though he has not been to Hype Cave yet, so he doesn't have the bow. But Hype Cave's a pretty prime spot, so he'll probably head over there before too long. But like you said, there's Thieves Town, there's, probably not Skull Woods without the Fire Rod, but a lot of places left before jkoper might find himself checking Hype Cave.
Very true, though the way I've noticed the game's logic, it tends to count both Thieves Town and Skull Woods as part of the general Village of Outcast area. As I've found a few items there that it's just like, really, game? You're listing this as something that I would normally not go to, especially if it's a pendant dungeon?
It certainly does seem like the randomizer is out to get you sometimes. So jkoper is heading south from Village of Outcasts, not checking Thieves Town for now. Going to be heading over to the digging game, so it'll be a little while before we see what that has in store. While Chrouya is finishing up the kind of second half, maybe a bit further than that, into Swamp Palace here.
That's true. And any bets on where the boots are going to be? Or will it be bootless?
It's going to be right here in the digging game. Boom, there it is. There's the bag of, you can just put that on your feet, and there you go, boots. You're off and running. Nope, it's the magic powder.
And Quiz just got Quake from from the chests in the Swamp Palace. So looks like jkoper is going to go and grab the Toad guy and turn him to being a human again, or at least a dwarf.
Yeah, he's going to be able to complete this whole sort of series of odd jobs that are all nearby. He can turn this guy in, use the mirror to cash in on that reward. He's got the hammer to do the pegs. He's got the powder to check the bat cave. And he can go ahead and do purple chest afterwards if he wants to go ahead and do that.
And he also has the ability to, once he gets purple chest, to actually hit all the usual locations with the purple chest.
Yep, there's the Stump Kid and that Heart Piece Cave, and then when you open the purple chest after that, you can head over to Bombo's Tablet. If he had the Fire Rod, he might want to go over and then go to Desert from there, but it looks like that's not going to be the play for him.
Plus, he's also not opting to do the Hammer Pig Cave right now. But I guess that's something that most players kind of want to do with the boots and not take the time to literally hammer down all those pigs.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. But Purple Chest, I don't know, it's pretty slow too, but I guess you're combining it with a lot of these other places. Anyway, meanwhile, Chrouya has been fighting its Argus for a while here, been struggling a little bit to get these puffs off because he is...
And the boots!
There they are! Justified in his decision, jkoper finds the boots here in this sort of mirror cave up on this ledge. I wonder if he'll just go straight back to those pegs now.
I'm betting you this is a smart play. He's checking the Stump Kid first. And the Bug Net, too! Now that's a find!
There's not too many items left to find that are finds. for jkoper, but that's something. Chrouya has meanwhile finally conquered his Argus problem. With the Master Sword, it takes 2 slashes to take out the puffs. Pretty annoying, but the hammer will take him out in 1. So the optimal strat for, I think, when you're doing swordless is you go hookshot, pull it, switch to hammer, smash it, hookshot again. I think you can actually hookshot 2 puffs and hammer them both, but either way, there are a lot of menuing there for Chrouya, switching weapons back and forth. Does finally get Argus down, and so now, where's he off to?
Just a single arrow from the purple chest. Very true on that one.
Going to be heading over to Bombo's tablet, like Chrouya, apparently. I guess Chrouya's got the fire rod, so... No, wait, I got them mixed up. Chrouya's a little bit north of jkoper. He's going to be heading to Stump and then over to Hammer Pegs and so on. jkoper, just a little further south at Bombo's tablet, can get a heart piece for his efforts.
And although there is a lot of items that are needed, it's looking like, since the cane is not needed and Fire Rod's the only item needed, I think both of these players are just about in go mode.
Pretty much. They don't need any medallions. Depending on their preference with dark rooms, if they're afraid of the dark, they might need that lantern as opposed to want that lantern. In Flute, jkoper does not have the flute yet, but I think the only thing that is required for it is Mire.
That is very true. I mean, it does help with a lot of movement options, but no, you really don't need the flute at all. At least with this type of a seed, you have the Mitts, the Ice Palace. You have Thieves Town, which you really don't need any items for, except for the gloves to actually get to blind. Then he's got all the items for Skull Woods. And then, essentially, that leaves, Palace of Darkness? And they have all the items for that, so, yeah, technically, Chrouya is, in go mode, I think.
It's a little questionable, because if you need to go to the right side of Ganon's Tower, you need the Cane of Samaria, and there's, 5 chests over there, so that's, 5 over 22, so the odds are a little less than 80% that you're in go mode, but that is not a good number to feel good about heading into Ganon's Tower. So I imagine he'll still be checking things. I think that was you came in a little distorted there.
Alright, I said looks like jkoper is just about to get his flute.
Oh yes, here we go. Flute finally in hands for jkoper. Chrouya as well, using his newfound boots to cash in on quarter magic. That's going to help him quite a bit, especially because he's got the fire rod. His combat options just went up tremendously. Also, he's got to worry about Skull Woods. He's in Thieves Town, so Skull Woods probably a likely candidate. And Mothula, a troublesome boss, especially with Green Tunic and only 8 hearts, but when you've got all that magic with the fire rod, you can just kind of go a little crazy on her.
Now, I think both of these runners should try to find at least a new tunic. I don't know about you, but if Chrouya doesn't get any more hearts and can't find a tunic upgrade, basically one hit from Ganon and he's dead.
Yeah, Ganon with the Green Tunic, if you touch him, he does exactly 8 hearts of damage. I don't know why they thought that was an okay thing. I mean, I guess they're counting on you having at least the blue tunic. And probably I think the red tunic is kind of developer intended.
I would agree with you there, though. Honestly, if it's a choice between between blue and red, I'll take the red tunic because, honestly, if I've tried to speedrun the original game, and I'm right by the big chest, because that's where I found the big key, I'm gonna go get that chest. I don't care if I lose a bit of time. I kind of want the insurance policy.
Yeah, there's a number of safety items that you can get when you play play the original game. People, believe it or not, do speedrun the original Link to the Past, and they have quite a bit and quite extensively. And so the top players will skip absolutely everything, but There's a lot of people who still rely on grabbing a couple safety items, just using a little bit of time. Get some powder to get some fairies as you go, and the gold swords, silver arrows, one of the bigger safeties. And of course, like you said, that
and the
map.
lamp for jkoper, the lamp,
and the bloomerang. Yeah, but no, that lamp is definitely the bigger find of the two. That's going to make certain dungeon traversals much more easier.
Like Pod.
Yep.
I'd have to say the mire rooms in the dark probably they're not the hardest, but they're not the easiest. I'd say the first room being the one switch room is probably the hardest of the set. Though I know for me, if I don't have the lamp, I really do not want to be heading into Pod's Maze of Darkness.
I like this declaration in chat, Chrouya will die. Just laying it out there, completely blunt. We'll see. He's down to 2.5 hearts with the green tunic. He's in Thieves' Town. This is a Dark World dungeon, so the damage values do kind of get stepped up here quite a bit. And the blind fight's no joke. He doesn't have the Cane of Verna or the cape, so he doesn't have really many safety options. His shield will block the fireball.
But it just got refilled with hearts.
Nice find.
They're not opting to check the big key chest, but I think that's because he's figured out the only item in there could either be the map or did he get the map? I think he did. Either a dungeon item or one of the regular items, but either way works.
He'll probably get a menu unless he decides to just fight him with the sword. I guess he doesn't really have anything that will help with this fight, so he's going to fight him with the sword. So we're not going to see the menu to see which dungeon items he's collected, but he's a pretty competent randomizer player. So I fully expect he's the kind of player who is keeping track of what items he is getting in each dungeon, and that can help you prevent yourself from wasting a lot of time checking chests that you just don't need to.
Very true. Oh, and the red cane!
He is going to be very happy to see that. He doesn't need it for Mire or Turtle Rock, but he no longer has to worry about that odd sort of gamble waiting for him in Ganon's Tower.
Then again, I have to say the funniest gamble I have seen a player have to make was the 1 in 22 chance that the big key for Ganon's Tower would be on the torch because he didn't have the boots.
Yep, we've seen a couple of bootsless players end up in that situation, and 1 over 22, those are pretty small. That's a pretty small number, but it can certainly feel a lot bigger when you're the one without the boots heading into Ganon's Tower.
Very true, especially considering how hard it is to get to Ganon's Tower without the boots. I don't know about too mythical, but I just got done my first bootless seed a couple days back, and it was a pain.
Yeah, there's a couple places where you really will take the boots for granted. One of the things that really caught me off guard when I saw someone doing Ganon's Tower without the boots was the conveyor belt room with the 4 pig guard guys on it. With the boots, you just charge past that whole thing that are never ever going to be a problem. And without the boots, that bridge is absolutely treacherous.
Not only that, but if you also are in the mire and you need to get the big chest, that room is treacherous. Because you literally have to be precise, especially if you don't have the hook shot.
Thankfully, these players don't have to worry about any of these things. They've got boots, they've got hookshot, they've got fire rod, they've got pretty much everything they need. jkoper, I'm not sure what Catfish could give him that he'd be happy to see, but 300 rupees is not it. He mirrors away before he even collects it. I mean, that's potion money. If you are having trouble with Ganon, you've got green tunic, tempered sword, no gold sword yet. No, well, they do have silver arrows, actually. But
Yes,
still,
they do.
you might want to buy some potions for that Ganon fight, and so either way, he's got 900 rupees. He's probably fine.
I think what he's trying to find is the fire rod, which, as we know, where was it again? Wasn't
Swamp Palace is where the fire rod resides. Chrouya is currently using it to put Mothula down. He's hit Mothula more than enough times to kill them, but because of the
fact
way
of hitting it
spikes
into the
work,
spikes.
Yep, the developers didn't want you killing the boss by knocking them into spikes and doing a whole bunch of damage So they just said, spikes do 0. And they were like, okay, that's good. But
and the
spikes,
problem is that also prevents the gold sword from working on it in the vanilla game.
The gold sword damage category is sort of shared with the spikes, so if you actually manage to get there with the gold sword, it does 0 to Mothula. And also the more annoying thing, by the way, the gold sword thing is fixed in Randomizer, it will do tempered sword damage. But the worst thing is that the spikes will overwrite whatever damage you did to Mothula with that spike damage of 0. And so you have to be very careful in that fight. Try to knock her away from spikes or into one of those blocks on the edges of the room to actually get your damage to go.
Very true, and yes, it is possible to get there with the gold sword, because the fact is that if you choose to actually not get the fire rod or not go to Skull Woods immediately, you should be able to actually get there with the actual gold sword later on, because you really don't need the fire rod for any other dungeons but Skull Woods.
Yeah. You can make do with the lantern and bombos to get through crystals 5 and 6 in the vanilla game. You need to go out of your way and bend over backwards to make it happen, but it is certainly possible. jkoper is back to Desert Palace to finish it off. Gonna see if he can get the 2 cycle on the landmost. 5 misses that arrow shot, so that's not gonna be it, but he's gonna be able to set himself up for a good 3 cycle. Bam! There it is.
I say Chrouya is actually comfortable enough with Dark Room strats, it looks like, to attempt pod without the lamp.
Yep, he did not use his flute to go check out Misery Mire. Those 2 chests are very quick to check, so I would have recommended going there before doing Palace of Darkness. I mean, of course I can say that because I know the lantern's there, but even still I feel like that is a really good place to check that Chrouya has overlooked. So he is here in Palace of Darkness without the lantern, gonna have to navigate some of these rooms in the dark, and even if you're really, really good at it, you're still not going to be doing it as quickly as if you had that lantern, so he is going to be losing some time here.
Very true, and also, point of note, he still only has the Master Sword, though he is picking up the Blue Mail, which is nice.
Yep, he's going defense over offense. He played Link's Awakening DX, and he went with the blue tunic.
I'm just glad I actually beat the original game on that one. I haven't played the DX version, but I do own a copy of the original.
I think that's probably one of my favorite Zelda games, but I don't want to start that debate. Chrouya using the boots to blow open some of these bonkable walls here. Not all, or most walls, not boots breakable, mostly bomb breakable, but if they've got that kind of outline to them, you can use the boots to bonk them open.
Yep, and that's +2 to his boot count. To his bonk count, I should say. I'll try to at least update that one every now and then. Especially if he decides to go crazy on the spare bonks like I've seen some runners do. It's because they've been so annoyed.
jkoper is into Thieves Town. We know that there's no fire rod waiting for him here, and no tunic, no cape, nothing he really wants to see, but he is absolutely going to be checking all these chests.
Kane will be there, though.
Oh, right, Blind had it. That is where the King's Spear is. So he is actually going to be very happy when he sees that. Chrouya's got the bow, so he doesn't have to worry about getting blocked here in Palace of Darkness. He's going to be able to explore it and complete it as long as he's okay with getting through some of those dark rooms later on in the dungeon. Chrouya into the Hellway here, or jkoper rather, not finding the magic pixel in the middle to dash straight upwards and getting bonked around quite a bit there, so he's down to 5 hearts. A little bit of a concern here in this dungeon, especially with that tunic.
I agree with you there. I have really never gotten that god pixel, as people call it, but I'll tell you, for myself, if I'm low on hearts and I've got the cape, I'll take the cape over that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities where the cape is, probably strictly slower than doing it the good old-fashioned way. But boy, is it easier. And if you're unpracticed at certain parts of the game, chances are pretty good that it will end up saving you more time than you would have lost trying to traverse such a treacherous room.
I will say this much though: one of the only areas where the cape actually is to your disadvantage is Ice Palace, because any of the ice that you are on there, yes, you can move normally, but you're moving normally while still having to deal with ice physics.
Yeah, and you don't really have a great sense of where Link is on the screen if you're not used to navigating by just the shadow. So I can see why in some of those rooms, especially that one with the fire bar and the one that kind of loops, that room sucks. So I would hate having to do that without being able to see Link's sprite properly. Chrouya doing well in the dark rooms so far. He's out of one and into another here.
It looks like he's opting to use Quake to turn the enemies into whatever the little bunny type things are.
I think they're like slimes. It freaked me out the first time I saw it. They look really bizarre. It's a sprite not used anywhere else in the game.
Just like if you throw powder on the little green cucumber things that can electrocute you, they'll turn orange and have sunglasses on.
Powder makes things cool.
That's very true. That's one of the reasons why they make it. Because it literally makes everything magical and crazy.
See how crazy jkoper gets on this blind fight. The first 3 hits, pretty simple. You just pull out your sword and poke him. You don't have to worry about damage values too much because everything kind of does 1 damage to blind, and 3 hits required for each of the 3 phases. 9 hits total. Got a little bit off script on that second phase, so he's going to have to work for it the third one, but he gets a good pattern. He's able to capitalize and gets a pretty good fight.
And now he's going to be picking up his red king. Both runners are actually doing quite well, and Chrouya looking like being amazingly good with dark rooms, so I don't think we have to worry about him going after the lamp. Though having a little bit of trouble getting that switch down to Chaos Maria, but yeah, he's getting his 5th crystal, so let's see, Ice Palace probably after this, which will be his 6th, or would you say, let's see, which crystal do you think he'll go after next? Ice Palace, or, well, I'm trying to remember what the last one is.
From here, would you flute to Ice Palace? I think you'd flute to both, so it probably doesn't matter.
It would be Ice Palace, I think. Did he do Desert yet?
Nope, he has not. So those are his 2 options. Chrouya is going to be checking out the jkoper rather. We got the co sounds. jkoper is going to be checking out the bat cave here that he neglected earlier. He didn't want to do hammer pegs without the boots.
And he didn't want to pick up that heart from the Ember Cave, so I guess he's comfortable with the amount of hearts he's got.
Which is not a lot, so that's pretty brave of him. Chrouya having some trouble in the turtle party room. Thank goodness he managed to light one of the torches, so this is so much easier to deal with. Also, with only the Master Sword, you definitely want to be trying to land the... Oh, interesting. When the torches fade out, you're left with some light there.
Yes, from what I've heard, it's a glitch that, in this game, that it'll still give you some light. It's very useful. At least from what I've heard, that it'll still linger to the next room. But once you mirror, or, well, warp, you lose it.
Yeah, very, very helpful. Chrouya, I believe that was a hammer dash in the dark through the turtles between him and Helmasaur. He's into that fight now. 4.5 hearts with the blue tunic means he can take 4 hits. No, not quite. From Helmasaur, he should be fine, really.
I'll tell you, the thing I've learned is that it's, 14 or 17 hits with hammer to Helmasaur? Though I think it's only, 4 bombs? I'll tell you, the trick to actually using a bomb on him is to try to lead him with your movement to get those bombs, or do some combination thereof, because whenever you hit him, he does move every now and then. Ooh, and Bomb Boost for Chrouya!
Yep, he does not need that to open up any of the dungeons. At this point, yeah, there's nothing really that he would need to go into those dungeons for, and he really wouldn't want to, so I don't think it's going to be terribly useful, but Bombos is one of the better medallions to have for combat. So if he decides to bust that out in Ganon's tower, then he'll be glad he found it here in Palace of Darkness.
And let's see, Chrouya's next dungeon is going to be Ice Palace.
Yep, he is fluted over to Lake Hylia, going to be swimming over to the portal here, turning around to block that shot there with his shield. I didn't know you were able to block while swimming like that, and normally it's not a big deal, but when you execute on the fake flippers glitch, taking damage will usually lead to a soft lock, and in the randomizer that sucks, so they instead just made it a death, which is still bad. You really don't want to die while executing the fake flippers glitch, so I saw someone actually turn around while swimming and do a really clutch block, and I thought that was awesome. So I like to see Chrouya also knowledgeable about that.
I know for myself, what I've always considered is if I'm fake flippering, especially in the early game, I will use that death as basically, okay, go back to Kakariko. If I'm going there before, Kakariko, I'll just like use that as a, okay, I just saved and quitted and went that way.
Like a message from the game saying like, what are you doing with this fake flippers nonsense?
Yeah, because it just tends to make, more sense. It's like, it's a time save, but I'm glad they were able to fix that one. That and the swamp soft blocks with accidentally forgetting a key. Because in the normal game you would not be able to do that. If you accidentally, had the pull the lever to raise the water, and you forget to get those keys under those pots, then you will basically soft block. This is in the normal game, but in the randomizer they fixed it.
Yeah, you can leave the dungeon and then also transition one screen away from the dungeon, and that will fix it. We saw Dodecahedron make that mistake in his race, and he did not know how to properly fix it. Chrouya lining up the bomb jump perfectly here in Ice Palace.
And he gets it on his first try.
He sure did, yeah, no problems for him. Dode actually mirrored out and then tried again, and it was still a soft lock, and he mirrored and then left the dungeon and came back, and that didn't do it, and then he just left. He just, oh, I'm fine, I'm going away, I'm coming back later. So he never actually figured out what exactly he had to do to reset the dungeon.
Nice quick kill on those penguins in the Ice Palace. Though I forget what they're called, but I think penguins describes them even if they're not black and white.
They are rather penguin-like. I think actually Andy educated me on this matter. They are called pengators. Not sure how much gator I see in them, except for perhaps the color.
I agree with you there. 100%.
Chrouya does decide to push this block down. He has the King of Samaria, so he doesn't actually have to do that part of the puzzle if he doesn't want. And he's not going to be bothering to check any of the other places here in Ice Palace. To properly check this palace, you need to swoop all the way around through the side and redo a couple of rooms. It's really slow. So when you're in go mode here, the way he is, this dungeon's a lot more friendly. Let's go straight to the boss, where he is now. He's at quarter magic. He's only got the Master Sword, so he's probably going to want to use this Fire Rod. Yep, here he goes. Not trying to combo them in the corner, rather just going to keep his distance, play it safe, and throw fire at them. Blue Tunic also going to do some work here. These guys do 4 hearts of damage with the Green Tunic, so I think that's 3 with the Blue Tunic. Fire Rod going to work and doing Gold Sword damage, takes them out. Recorded with
and they're dead in a small key from Gold Store.
Gold Store. Alright, so he's got his 6th crystal. He's looking pretty good here. jkoper is at 3. jkoper, the one he has left to clear, are some of the faster ones, to be fair. Skullwood's very fast. Swamp Palace, I think the Fire Rod was on the left side, so he'll have to full clear.
It was the left side. The second to last chest on the left side has the last chest is the one that you need to remember that you have to fall on the right side from the room above to get to, or you need the hook shot. And Chrouya picking up, I think it was what, Tempered Sword and the lamp?
The lamp for sure. I think Tempered Sword's on Dark Death Mountain. So he gets the Bloomerang along with his lantern. Probably going to be a little disappointed to see that after completing Palace of Darkness. But the only reason he's really here is because he wants to complete Desert Palace. These 2 chests are just kind of a bonus for him.
Yes, though I wonder, will he check Dark Death Mountain now that he really doesn't have to? Or will it be so ingrained that he doesn't have to?
Yeah, he was skipping chests in Ice Palace, but that's because those chests are a big pain to check. Some of those Death Mountain chests could be quite quick to check while he's there, and he has to kind of go buy them on his way up to Ganon's Tower.
Chests, which are the 2 chests that are right on his way up if he takes the Titansmith's route, which more than likely he would. And the reason that most players refer to them as the Super Bunny chest is because, unlike most chests, you can basically drop down a hole while you're the money, which the game really makes you not want to do that. But if you do that, you then have access to your A and it's what, the Y button?
You've got your sword, and you've got... I don't think you can use your Y button, but you have your dash and your sword, and your ability to interact with things like push blocks and open chests.
Yes, that is always useful. And Chrouya is about to get his 7th crystal, so should you ask chat or should I? What chest do you think will be the magical big key chest for Ganon's Tower now?
Well, looked like you just did. So the guesses are going to be flowing in here as Chrouya finishes up. Just like jkoper gets finishing it off on the 3rd cycle there, right as he pops out. Did not have silver arrows, so he went to work with the fire rod, and quarter magic let him be quite liberal with it. Got a very good kill on the first worm, just bam bam with the two shots there, but unable to follow through. Some players like using the fire rod over silver arrows because of there's more delay when you use the arrows, and if you miss, they lag quite a bit as the sparkly arrow and all of its lovely sprites fly across the screen.
Very true, and jkoper about to get his fire rod because he's now heading into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I expect him to check the left side on Swamp Palace, but it is a possibility that he might. Nah, if he's missing the fire rod, he's gonna check it. It'll be no problem. Chrouya's here on Death Mountain. Was going for the Titansmith's portal there, and opted not to. So he's going to be going up to the Turtle Rock portal.
Which means he'll also have to do not only Silverless Ganon, but Master Sword Ganon. Which I think is, what, 24 hits?
24 spins in the final phase.
Actually, I think that's just to even get to the final phase.
He does, what, it's 12 tempered slashes. So 24 slashes or 12 spins for the first phase. And then on the last phase, it's 24 spins. It's quite an endeavor. He has the blue tunic, so that's going to help him out a little bit. He's not doing too great on bottles.
But he is checking Hookshot Cave, though.
Yeah, this is right along his way. Unfortunately, the Temper Sword he's looking for is not here. It's in another place nearby on Death Mountain. I don't think he's probably going to go check it.
I'm sorry, Chrouya, your Tempered Sword is in another castle.
That's right. He is going to find a bottle with a fairy in it, though, and that's actually pretty big considering the endeavor he's about to take on with this Ganon fight. He's got to be worried about it at least a little bit. I mean, some players they can dance with Ganon all day, fighter sword that technically doesn't do any damage, but like they could just do it forever. And some players, Ganon's a huge problem, so I don't know where Chrouya is on that spectrum of Ganon fight skill, but he's got to be pretty high on it if he wants to take on this challenge.
I'm guessing he's probably very comfortable because he hasn't gone to try to search for the silver arrows or a better sword upgrade. I know I can handle Ganon with Tempered Sword, though it's not one of my favorite things to do, and when I was a kid I did try to take him on the Master Sword, and I eventually just I can't deal with this, I'm not dealing any damage, I'm gonna go find the max. I'm gonna go have the Tempered Sword. And so there's chest 1 and 2, but he did pick up an extra heart container, which should help him.
Yep, every single one of those hearts is gonna matter. I'm not sure about breakpoints in terms of how many hits you can take from Ganon with the blue tunic. That would be an interesting bit of math I wish I could do for you guys, but every heart could very well matter.
It might be 6 hearts instead of 8, or so I don't think it's 4, but don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, that'd be if you touch him, and so the bats would do 3, so that wouldn't really give him another breakpoint. But if he does get another heart, I think that does earn him an extra hit at fighting.
Ooh, and 300 rupees, along with another heart container in G Tower, which really will help him.
Yeah, he is up to 13 now. That does make that breakpoint, and with that money, he can buy more potions if he sees fit. He did detour to the witch's hut to grab at least 1 blue potion. I feel like he's probably got 2. Those are going to help him out a lot in that Ganon fight.
And as chat's pointing out, we will see Bob in this run.
Yes, the pillar did not get bonked, and that means everyone's favorite glitched little anti-fairy will make an appearance shortly. Maybe the 14th chest, the Bob chest, is the one with the big key.
I know they've talked about actually correcting the Bob chest glitch, and I think the consensus was, do we have to? It's really not affecting anything.
I've done a bit of programming. I wouldn't really call myself a programmer. But when you've got a bug like that, I can certainly understand the temptation to want to squash that bug, fix that thing that's not right, so I'm gonna fix it. But there would certainly be a lot of people who would be sad to see Bob go, so maybe we can appeal to the hearts of some of our randomizer developers. Bunch of chests here for Chrouya, 4 in a row, coming up.
Piece of heart, a compass, and the ice rod. Oh my god,
Fair
ice
enough.
rod G Tower.
That's going to be good for absolutely nothing. You could use it on Landmolars too if he wants, instead of the fire rod. I don't know.
Yes, you can, if I recall correctly. I think it does the same amount of damage,
Mm-hmm.
but it lags the screen more.
There's an awful lot of those twinkly little sprites.
There is. Especially with items like the golden bee, even though it's more of a sprite than anything else. Oh, and here's Bob!
There he is.
Let's say hi, Bob!
He's all glitched out. Why does he look like that? It's kind of like an eyeball, but kind of not. And there's 2 circles instead of 1. Well, there he goes. Down to the Ice Armos fight. No silver arrows here, so he's going to have to work a little bit, do some ice skating. Does not get to his position that he wants to get before the fight starts, so he's kind of off script here, going to be improvising the rest of this fight. It's going pretty well for him so far.
Looks like jkoper is just about to get the Argus fight, which I'm sure he'll be happy, because that only leaves, Skullwoods, Ice Palace, and I forget which is the last one.
Those are the last 2, because he just got Swamp Palace. That's his 5th crystal.
And Chrouya just picking up the big key, so he needs 1 more small key and he'll be good to go.
That's right. If you wanted to gamble, you could go up there without a small key, but the odds are very, very small that the 1 key you need is going to be in one of the chests between you and the locked door you need to get through.
And there's his key.
Yeah. Yes, he's got it. He's actually not going to mirror out. Has the knowledge of the dungeon layout to know, actually, you know what? Just 2 quick dashes and I'm already back there, so I like that.
I like that too, because also when you mirror out, it will also reset everything, so anything you killed will respawn.
Yep, and if you don't have the mirror equipped, which he does not, you're also incorporating the menu time, especially if you want to be using these arrows like you do on these mimics, so saving himself significant menu time as well.
And plus, also, I've seen some players complain if their menu time is not a certain amount or under a certain amount. Looking at those players that want a sub-3 menu time.
Yeah, that is a very, very good menu time. And but I think they would overall be more interested in saving their overall time. Either way, it's a cheeky, clever little strat that I really like.
Yep. Though I'm personally a fan of just Get it done. Just get it done. You know, you could slowly build down that memory time, that menu time, but just take it, one thing at a time.
So you're saying play the game. Don't spend a couple hours with the menu, playing around and learning menu strats. You think just let it come naturally?
Yep, I agree with you on that one. And nice avoidance of the cannonball room by Chrouya. I know for myself, whenever I want to try to do that normally, the smartest thing I've learned is walk a little bit, then start running. And if you really got good, if you run at the correct time, you can basically just dash for that without even the invisibility frames, the cape, or the cane of Brian.
Also choosing to go with Fire Rod over Bombos or any of the other options you have available to you in the Gauntlet, and is quite successful with those Fire Rod strats. Pretty good times in each of those rooms, and he's also got it equipped for my Mola's here. Not quite getting
also
the 2
plus
shots
1
on
to
that
his
first
bomb
one.
count.
Yes.
Plus also 1 to his bomb count.
Very important. Very, very important. Getting the last 2 hits on that Mola's there for a quick 2 cycle. Should be pretty happy with that. And because of that quarter magic, he's still got quite a bit left to go here.
Very true. And while Chrouya finishes up, just about to hit to the first Wizro fight, jkoper's just got done his Ice Palace bomb jump and is looking like he's going to be heading into Cold Stone real soon.
Chrouya executing. Oh, almost got the Wizrobe kill there. I love using the Cane of Samaria to kill 3 of those guys at once, and he did, but he just was a little too slow in getting that last hit. Half magic here is going to be plenty to light up these torches, but he wants to be sure, so he is going to be switching to the lantern here.
That's very true, and honestly, it's better because you can actually get real close to those and then possibly switch to Fire Rod, which is looking like he's going to do.
He's got it out. jkoper also has his Fire Rod at his disposal, but he's going to be popping open Cold Stare with Bombos. I wonder if he's trying to save all of his magic for this Fire Rod, or if he's not going to be using it at all. He has the Temper Sword instead of the Master Sword, so trapping Cold Stare here is a bit more of a viable object. Oh, with this strategy, he has now let them get away, and he's down to 1.5 hearts, so he can't get hit by anything, and he does. So I think he picked up that bottle with the fairy in Hookshot Cave, so he is not dead, but he is a lot closer to dead than he was before. We'll see how he reacts to this situation. Does snipe one of them from across the room, and now he's got them exactly where he wants them, able to follow up.
Chrouya is checking these last few sets. I'm thinking he's hoping to maybe get a better sword of the silver arrows, so he doesn't have to deal with all that time with Ganon.
Going jousting here with Moldorm, using that nice long platform. Wow, Moldorm having none of it, closing in on him. Chrouya dodging out of the way, much like a matador in a bowl. Sticks him and finishes him off. He's waiting patiently here for his chest. And my viewer is now lagging at this crucial moment of what he does with the validation chest.
And he gets the validation chest. Well, not so much the validation chest, but the last chest of the game. And it only gives him a 5-arrow upgrade.
Well, those arrows, without silver arrows, not the thing he wants to see there. Maybe got a little excited when he saw the arrow icon. The silver arrows have been in there in previous matches. Ooh, getting the triple on the Aghanim 2 fight.
Yep.
Nice job.
And while Chrouya is working on Aghanim, jkoper is heading to Skullwood, since he knows himself it's in go mode, be heading straight for Mothula.
Not before pulling out the net and having a bit of fun with it there. It looked like he was trying to execute a net dash.
Which I know is very possible. So what do you think Ganon's message today will be? I'm betting it's the breakfast one.
It's going to be the one about what Impa told him about blood and resurrection. That's what I think.
Well, that or the Two Towers reference, but I would love to know if that actually influences what appears in the first message from the credits, whether or not it's appearing as the Fellowship of the Ring, the Return of the King, or the Two Towers. Thank you, Lord of the Rings fans.
I don't know if those are linked or if they're separate roles in terms of randomness. Chrouya going down and gobbling up the fairy rather than trying to bottle one. And here it goes. I got it right! Impa says the mark on your hand means you're the chosen to awaken Zelda. All right.
Correct. Which is a Zelda 2 reference. And Zelda Ocarina of Time reference, if I recall.
He is now into the Ganon fight proper. He's opting for spins here because they do double damage to Ganon. And
not just that, but he
get
can attack without spins.
Yes.
Master Sword.
The slashes actually don't do enough damage to do anything to Ganon. You can wedge yourself in between him and the wall here and get some double hits. And he's looking quite comfortable, at least with this first phase, though it is, to be fair, the easiest phase. And getting bopped there by the fire bats and missing his hookshot invincibility frame trick there. So this is not going well for him. Down to 1.5 hearts, and there goes the fairy. So he is down to a couple potions. We'll see now if this is kind of a bad start for him. We'll see if he decides to pull at those potions and use them as necessary, or if he's going to try to just maybe like take a dive on this one. Try to, I don't know.
jkoper getting his last crystal and the compass from Mofula, so he's going to be headed to T-Tower.
Chrouya using the hookshot. Ooh, a little too early, but so early that he was able to use it again in time. As you can probably tell, Link is immune to things when that hookshot is traveling back and forth, and also when you are traveling as well. So if you hook onto that torch and it starts pulling you across, you will be immune while you get pulled. Of course, it can be kind of tricky if you get you come out of the hookshot. Oh, down to 1 heart now. Okay, he is committing to the potions. This is big.
Chat, do you want to get any guesses as to what the sword item will be? Considering that we will be seeing that at least in the credits. This is cool. You have any guesses for that one?
Nope. Moving on, Ganon is still in this annoying fire bat phase. He's got, I don't know how many spins now, but it feels like too many. Finally getting him into this next phase.
Yes, and now he's going to have to literally hit him, what, 12 or 24 times? I think it's 24 in this state. And hopefully he gets the torch glitch, because I don't know about you, but I want to at least be able to keep hitting him as much as I can.
Yeah, you do not want to have to do, even with quarter magic, you do not want to have to get 24 Ganon without the torch glitch. So he is going to commit to the lantern, and he does get the torch glitch successfully. So here we go. Count the spins. He's got 2 already. And he's looking pretty good here. The way he moves to dodge these fire bats, it's looking very smooth and comfortable for him. This is a 5 and 6. Settling into a nice 2-hit rhythm here.
Yep. Let's just hope that he remembers to wait the second once he defeats Ganon, so that way the stairs will appear to the Triforce. Because if he falls, even after beating Ganon, he will have to do this fight all over again.
Yeah, that would be a disaster, having finally completed this. Oh, speaking of the fall, dips a little bit too far downwards there into the fire bat trail. That is a fall for him. That goes, the blue potion he committed there is now gone. He might be down to 1 or maybe 0. I'm not sure, but either way, it's less potions than he's comfortable with. So he is dashing all the way back to the witch's hut. He's got 735 potions. I think the potions are, what, 160 each? So
it is 160 each.
He can buy 4, just shy of 4 or 3, I think.
I think he's actually opting for maybe getting the free magic refill from the double chested fairy. Oh no, he's not. Headed that way though.
I hope he's maintaining his composure here.
Either way, he's giving jkoper a chance to catch up.
He's gonna open up the fat fairy kit. All right. I mean, if he looked like he was good there. Like if he's digging for a last minute gold sword or silver arrow find, I'm a little confused because he was looking really good. I felt like he could have had that, with another attempt.
And apparently he's forgotten that he hasn't opened up Aghanim yet. Wait, yes, he did.
Yeah, it was jkoper.
Yes, he did, but that didn't. But at least he will have access to unlimited green potions, since the Fat Fairy will refill that. If you throw an empty bottle in at her, she will refill it with green potion, which is nice.
I think what she fills it up with is actually randomized.
Not sure on that one. I know every time I've thrown one into her, I've always gotten green potion back. But someone in chat might be able to help us out there.
I've seen fairies in a previous race, actually, so that leads me to believe it is randomized and not just switched from one version to another. Inside, he finds nothing good. Chrouya, what are you gonna do now, man? He's at the temple. He's going right back in for another fight. This is weird. This is for that detour. He could have gone and got blue potions, but instead he tried his luck on 2 item locations and came up with nothing.
I think that's because he was trying to actually maybe get a sword increase to cut down on the time, because he knows probably jkoper is also good, and he was probably wondering whether or not he, might have something as well, or he clearly thinks he's ahead and wants to try to save some time.
I mean, I can see why, but it still seemed like a rather desperate play, and I don't know. I guess that's where he's at.
Oh wow! jkoper finds the red mail.
That's gonna be nice to have, along with the tempered sword. His gain and silver arrows, of course. His gain and fight is gonna go much smoother. All he has to do is get there. Chrouya, this game is his to win. He's just him and one gigantic green pig between him and this win. And let me remind you, the clinched spot in the single elimination bracket to advance further in this tournament.
I think it's also because he knows that even if he loses, he's got the tiebreaker race. Though I think he's playing to win right now.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to just take a dive and go into a winner-take-all 3-way match. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but you want to advance in this tournament. I don't think anyone expected this tournament to be as big as it is, but the bigger it is, the more it means to everyone involved. And there are some people who would really want to do well in this thing. So. Oh man, getting banged up by the fire bats real bad there. Switching to the other blue potion. I'm pretty sure he is down to 0 now. Committing pretty hard here.
I'm pretty sure he is too. And jkoper taking on his ice armor, which means he will soon be picking up the big key and then heading up through the gauntlet.
Oh, Chrouya getting chewed apart by those fire bats. Only got 1 hit and took 3 hits in return. That is not trade you want to take in this situation. Whoa, that fire bat, he was pretty sure that one was not coming, but the 8th one lingering off screen does fly in, knock him down to 2 hearts. He's got nothing left in terms of recovery options, but he does get to this 3rd phase, and this is where you are relatively safe. That fire bat phase is the most dangerous, the most unpredictable, and he's past it now. It's very predictable what Ganon does from here on out, so by keeping his calm and playing correctly,
it is an unpredictable phase as long as you try not to get hit by Ganon. But then again, sometimes he will teleport right to where you are.
As long as it keeps the lights on, he should be able to avoid Ganon getting right on top of him. I mean, sometimes Ganon will go to the torch that he would like to be standing next to relight it, and that's kind of annoying. But otherwise, I don't think he has to worry too much about where Ganon goes. It's mostly about making sure he baits out the fire bats to go in the correct direction and avoiding them accordingly. And he is doing so perfectly so far, but like we saw, it only takes 1 mistake perfectly to turn into a total failure. Misses the spin there. I think he's got about 7 or so he's about 1/3 of the way there. This has got to be so tense for him. That beeping sound too. It's oh man. He's going with Fire Rod to light the torch here. He's probably going to have enough magic to see this through. Oh, does not get away from the Fire Bat. That is another death for Chrouya. He is out of potions now. And he is running out of time. jkoper is in the gauntlet of Ganon's tower. By the time he goes and gets whatever he wants to get to prepare for the Ganon fight and gets back in there, jkoper is going to be threatening a win just through the merits of having a much faster Ganon fight.
Not only that, but also having the tempered sword and the silver arrows.
That's going to make the Ganon fight that much faster. jkoper having a great landroll this fight, tracks down 2 with the fire rod, unable to get to that third one that unfortunately went down to the bottom right. And normally these little things don't quite matter, but suddenly this race is so close that it matters quite a lot. Chrouya has chosen to go with blue potions from the Witch's Hut, fluting back now to 4. And from here, he's going to be heading back to the pyramid for another go. And if he gets in there right away, I think it's still his to win. But after that, it seems like jkoper is going to get his chance to take on Ganon and pick up the win.
Very, very true. And especially since jkoper has tempered, has silver arrows, and now has the red mail and the mirror shield, he should be able to make quick work of Ganon.
Once again, we see this message. Impa and the blood and the white Kimmy, and Chrouya's like, yeah, okay, let's go. Chrouya not as good on magic this time around, so we probably might see him use the lantern a little bit more. Either way, that's not what he's got to be thinking about. First, he's got to get past this first couple of phases there. Having a little trouble avoiding the trident there. The animation on the trident is... It spins kind of awkwardly. It's kind of unclear which point the trident is actually revolving around, and it can make it a little awkward to dodge sometimes, even though it moves slow enough for you to be okay. Here's the all-important fire bat phase.
Just about to get into his Landmol's 2 fight. Sorry, not Landmol's 2. Moldorm 2.
Switching to the hook shot, and immediately gets knocked off. That is actually a pretty big deal. If he were to have a great Ganon's tower fight, and move right into the Ganon fight, I might be possible to just straight up catch Chrouya, even if he succeeds on this attempt. Speaking of success, it's not looking so great for him right now. He's down to 5 hearts. He's gotten a couple hits in this fire bat phase, but not too many. Oh, and he takes another, walking right into that ring of fire. The hitboxes on those are bigger than they appear. Thankfully, the hitbox on your sword is also a little bigger than... Well, no, maybe it's about as big as it appears, but either way. Takes 1 hit there and another. Trading 1 hit for 1 is not ideal, but at least it's something. But trading 1 hit for 3... that's bad. Ouch. Bad news. Down to 2. I'm sure he bought more than 1 potion, but he's not pulling out the other.
Now into his Aghanim 2 fight.
Alright, there we go. Is going to use the potion. Was scaring me a little bit there. Thought maybe he thought he could take a hit, but he could not with 2 hearts. Anything would have killed him there. Using the hook shot, just barely avoiding 4 bats crisscrossing over top of him. Still in this fire bat phase. Just wants to get out of this phase. It is so dangerous and unpredictable. A little shy with the sword spin there.
jkoper now going to be entering his Ganon fight as well.
Oh, the sword spin hitbox is probably smaller than it appears. It is so unforgiving. Manages to nick the corner there. How many hits in this cycle? When is it over? When it finally is over. He is into the 3rd phase. He is out of potions. He is out of fairies. He's got 8 hearts to do this. And if he doesn't,
I'm sure
jkoper...
he's got the blue mail.
Yeah, that's going to help quite a bit. He's thankful for every little advantage that he has in this fight, because jkoper's got a lot more of him. jkoper just swinging away with his tempered sword, just slash.
He's also got the silver arrows, which should help speed up that last part.
Yes, it will speed it up considerably. It turns it into kind of a joke compared to the insanely tense dance that Chrouya has to do here. And there's so many steps to this dance. 24 steps to this dance. 24 spins to finish off Ganon with the Master Sword in this way, without these silver arrows. I think he's gotten 3 or 4 so far. He's going to go for this one and barely get it before the lights go out. He's going to need to not only be accurate, and jkoper takes the death, and he might be out of fairies. No, he does have another fairy.
On the way up.
That is good. Good thinking from him. Both players probably know the other player has not done yet, so both of them are.
jkoper just about on his third phase as well.
Oh, see, at this point, the fourth phase is going to be so fast for him that even if Chrouya succeeds, jkoper might just win by a couple seconds. So Chrouya needs to not only be accurate, he needs to be fast. He needs to get.
This might actually be the new closest race we've had.
It could be. We'll see. It's got to play out first. There's still a lot of hits left for Chrouya to land. That was not one, and he is now down to 4 hearts. He can only take one more hit before he is in the danger zone. Can he get this spin here? jkoper lands the final hit. jkoper comes from behind
to win with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 28 seconds.
Chrouya has got to be just completely crestfallen to see that dot done. He is so close. We're almost getting hit by that fire bat there. In some ways, the
means we will have a 3-way tie-breaking race.
We sure will. This is if you wanted to see more Zelda, if you wanted to see some more 3-way action that we've had on the channel before, you guys got it. But if you wanted to see Chrouya succeed with this, oh, he finally does get Ganon down on that successful attempt. 146.15.
Chrouya and jkoper.
It's they're 45 seconds apart here. Is the final time. In Chrouya just saying I'm bad.
Do you want to get both of them into our interview?
Hell yeah, I do. Let me try to get these guys in here.
I agree with you on that one. That was an amazing race. An amazing race. We saw a great Silverless Master Sword strategy from Chrouya and jkoper. Such an amazing comeback.
Yeah, that fight with Ganon with the Master Sword is it is an endeavor. It is a trial. You need to be so good at landing those spins and at dodging those fire bats. And a lot of players are good enough that with the Tempered Sword or the Gold Sword or whatever, they usually make it happen before something goes bad. But when you need to hit him 24 times, just being okay at the fight is not good enough anymore. And you need to be more consistent at landing those hits, or you're gonna fall, you're gonna die. And we saw that with Chrouya. Oh man, he was looking so good for a lot of that fight, but it just one little thing gets away from you and it all falls apart.
Too true. Too true. Too true.
Both players for now are frantically typing back and forth about how each of their races went. They seem a little more interested in just calming down, I think, than anything else.
I agree with you there. This was one of those races that even if you lose, you're still going to be annoyed, and even if you win, you're going to be even more annoyed.
Well, we'll see. We'll see just how Chrouya is feeling.
Hello.
After that incredible race, sir. Wow. How you doing?
I could have finished like 10 minutes earlier.
You sure could have! Oh, man! Oh, that fight. Have you ever done a Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight
like
before?
once?
Once
Congratulations
before?
on your second one, man.
Man. Oh, that seed was interesting. And it started off with very bad plays. And then it picked up. Got like early go mode, except for like the Pegasus boots and the cane.
Yeah, the cane.
I was worried that they might have been required for Ganon's tower.
Right. Yes, we have had players in those situations where Misery Mine or Turtle Rock are pendants, and you think, oh, there's so many items I don't need now. And then you get all the way to Ganon's tower, and you're like, wait, maybe I do. Maybe
yeah, exactly.
I do.
Apparently the Ether medallion was in the sword.
The Bolt coin. That's neat. It's one more little cherry on top of what is one of the best races of the tournament, by the way, from our perspective up here in the
Really?
booth.
I
Yes.
don't know how many attempts he did at Ganon. I don't know what kind of sword situation jkoper had.
So you passed up the tempered sword on Dark Death Mountain. You went to Hookshot Cave and checked those, but the other two chests had the tempered sword
and the silver arrows.
Where was Silver Arrow? It was
Silver arrows were in the sea house.
the Sea House in
The
Village
sea
of
house.
Outcasts.
Oh man, I rushed past these. I shouldn't have.
That
What? Are
voice
you
hear
didn't get
chat,
the silver
by the
arrows
way.
either?
No, he didn't.
don't have
He
silver
did
arrows.
a Master Sword silverless.
Silverless fight.
Welcome, by the way, to our winner of this match, jkoper. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
You're just
Sounds like-
okay.
You just sent your opponent into a 3-way tiebreaker race for second.
Yeah, I'm not that excited about that.
I'm not even sad that it's now a tiebreaker.
What's that? You don't.
Like- I'm not even that sad that I lost and now there's like a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
More hype.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
more
guess.
Zelda for all of us to watch. And if it's any indication how the last one was, didn't it peak with over 3,000 viewers?
I think that was the number it got to. So people seem to be pretty excited for these 3-way races. So even though this is an exit from the tournament for you, jkoper, and that you're a pretty chill guy, I hope you can at least be happy that you've orchestrated this sort of situation for all the viewers that they're looking forward to.
I guess so. I mean, I feel like Chrouya should have won this race. It's the way it sounds like if he would have just, not choked on Ganon, I guess. But if he's doing it Master Sword and no silvers, which is a little crazy, then that explains why he was having trouble on it. I thought he said he died and fell off even though he had silvers, but maybe die and fall the silverless mat. I thought he said dive and fall the silver's Master Sword Ganon, which is a different story.
No, I kept dying on the fourth phase on Ganon, so that cost like minutes of time.
Yeah.
I know I'm a fan of always trying to find a sword upgrade because I've tried beating him with the Master Sword years back, and I know I can't do it. I'd have to cost a lot for that one. So, chat, do you have any guesses for their bonk counts? As we're getting close to them?
So I have an important question here.
Shoot.
Where was the hammer? I'm convinced that I didn't pick it up. That it was just like some sort of corrupted save data. That it was in my inventory at
It
some
just
point.
appeared. It manifested in your inventory when you talked to the merchant in Kakariko right at the start. $100. Put that bad boy in there.
Yeah, interesting. So I had that for a very long time. That really would have changed my routing if I knew I had that. Yeah, that cost me a lot of time running around and doing dumb things and being like, oh, I should go here because here's more likely to have the hammer than, oh my goodness. I would have saved so much time and, yeah, I still probably would have taken a similar route. Like, I wouldn't have gone straight to Swamp. I would rather, take the fast route through Swamp. So, yeah. But if I had realized that I had the hammer the whole time, then I might have saved 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know.
There
I've
was a
had
moment
stuff like
where
that
you
as
walked
well.
away. You walked away from the hammer pegs, I think. Like you did the dwarf blacksmith, and then you got the purple chest and you just left. And we were like, oh, he's not doing the pegs. He didn't have the boots. I guess he didn't want to have to hammer them all down one by one. But...
Nope, I forgot I had it. I have a tendency to do that from time to time. In Zelda 1, I pick up the ladder, then go to the next room, and I forget I have the ladder, so...
I know I've forgotten having the shovel before because of also having the flute, and I've forgotten having Titan's mitts before.
Yeah, shovel's pretty minor. Titan smiths, that's that's different. I think I've probably forgotten that though too. I've forgotten just about everything at one point or another, I suppose. But it you know, it happens rarely enough that I don't feel the need to have a tracker. But then at the same time, it happens every so often that it's annoying enough.
Yeah, every time it does happen, you think, that tracker would have really helped.
Yeah.
I know for myself, I've learned to keep a tracker just so I can keep track of dungeon counts. For the chests in the dungeon.
That's half the reason that I have split sub. So you know, half so I know my pace, and half so I know how many crystals I have. So that's the main thing. This was a very nice seed here for the most part, really.
I thought it wasn't that nice in the beginning. Like, it just made you go up and then down and go up again. I was thinking, is this seed actually like completable without minor glitches?
Yeah, you had to kill egg.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, oh right, the book was from the old man. I keep thinking like this was a strange.
So
sequence.
did you not kill Aghanim?
I did, of course.
You did kill Aghanim.
I did.
Oh,
it wasn't necessary.
No, it definitely was not necessary. It was really crazy.
Oh right, yeah. If you go Zora first, I guess. Yeah.
So here's one of the best parts of this run. You know, my last resort before killing Aghanim is to go buy the flippers, right?
Right.
I've already got the hook shot, so all I need is a way to get onto Death Mountain. And as obviously one of them is probably locked in the Dark World on the Pyramid, more than likely. But there's two other options, right? So as I finally get into Zora's domain, and I see the cold gloves on the ledge, and I'm just like, I started swinging my sword to convey my frustration there. And I walk up to Zora, and he gives me the power gloves, which was still a little frustrating because, you know, I had to get those and then come back, you know, much later after I finally had the flippers. Or the flippers, I was expecting to see the flippers on the ledge after that happened.
Oh, I see.
But yeah. Anyway, got the flippers and had to go back there.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have any use for the power glove because I got the flute early, then got the book, and that got me the flippers and the mirror.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was... Right. Obviously, if you already have the flippers, then you wouldn't need the glove, because you would see... Did you still buy the...
Yeah. Like I didn't want to farm for rupees. I think at the time I was like, I'm gonna risk it and just go Aghanim early.
Well, so I went into Eastern, which isn't necessarily a good play, but I went into Eastern half so that I could pick up money. Like there was money in some chests there, and then I went to the dark room in the back, and I got all the rupees out of there. Right. And then I just went to the house and did 3 loops in the house in Kakariko to get the rest of the money.
Okay, yeah, I think that kind of evens out.
Yeah, I don't know which way was faster as far as getting all of the stuff. The fact that I had to go through Zora's domain twice might have made your way faster, I guess.
I don't know, it's still Aghanim's tower, so...
Yeah.
I do have to ask one question for the pair of you.
Yeah.
What was with not checking the map for the longest time?
That's like, I don't know, I play really, like, without the map.
I mean,
I don't know.
Same thing that other people would say. Like, I check the map when it would affect where I'm gonna go. I'd rather not check it and then forget what's on there, and then have to check it again later.
Yeah, I don't think I ever checked
the map multiple times as it is. So.
Yeah, I never checked the Light World map.
You never checked it?
Yeah, so I went through Desert. I heard the crystal music, so I was like, okay, this is required. Right. Then I went to Hera. That was also crystal music, so I was like, okay, I'll finish this. And then I went to the Dark World, and then I checked the Dark World map, and I was like, oh, I see 2 pendants, so Eastern has to be a pendant. And the other ones were like, oh, there's no Mire and no T-Rock, so I don't need medallions. I don't need I didn't need the Samaria.
Yeah,
then, looking at my equipment, I was like, I'm almost in go mode. And then I got, I think the last item was
Fire Rod. Yeah, it had to be Fire Rod. There was no other option, really, I don't think.
Yeah, and then after Fire Rod, I checked the boots cave, the cave that had the boots.
Oh, you did?
And afterwards,
After Fire
I
Rod?
just yeah,
Huh.
yeah, because I went swamp immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... It's interesting that you checked more caves after... Why did you go swamp?
Yeah.
immediately? That's interesting.
I
You had
I had the hammer and the hook shot.
flippers,
Get an
and the hype
upgrade.
cave is there.
Yeah, so I just did that one bootless, and then I just continued up towards Kakariko. I checked the bomb cave. I got the 1/4 magic, and then I went into thieves, and then I kind of rushed everything, so I never checked the sea house for the silvers.
Yeah.
I should have done that one. Like those are kind of easy to get, but I just went to Skull Woods and then fluted away towards Pod.
Yeah, I don't know what our totals were, but it sounds like I checked a significant number of locations more than you.
Yeah, I was stuck at Ganon for about 12 minutes or 14 minutes. So
It's better than having a 30-minute Ganon fight because you fell just, like 2 frames before the bridge appeared.
happened once in one of my first races, so I'll never do that one again. But
Very, very true.
yeah, it was so annoying. Like I was counting my hits, I was going up like a fair point, and then I fell. I was like, okay, that's still not bad. I still have like 1 potion, and yeah, that was about it. I maybe should have grabbed another fairy.
I wonder how far behind I got.
People were saying you were at Ice Palace.
It was about 2.5 dungeons at the
Ouch.
biggest gap.
Well,
between
yeah,
you
of course.
guys.
Like I think you maybe have done Desert last, so that's not really much of a dungeon.
Yes.
No, I didn't do Desert last. No, I actually, I was gonna go to Thieves, and this is still when I thought I didn't have the hammer, and I was gonna go to Thieves, and I'm like, no, I should do, Desert first in case the hammer's there, and, the Fire Rod is in, the Thieves' big chest. So, yeah. So I did Desert. I started going to Thieves, and then I, went back and finished Desert instead. Got the last item, or just killed the land mollusk basically.
Yeah.
And then I went and did Thieves, full cleared Darkness, -1 chest that has a key, and then I went to Swamp.
Right. I was so panicking. I went through Palace of Darkness in the dark. I went into the dark maze, and I forgot to check the first chest. And then I checked the second chest, and that was a big key. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, the first one was the map. I don't know if you went back. You probably
No,
you
I just when I had the big key, I just already had a
right. You
a
had
spare
everything.
key. Yeah.
I know for me, I could not ever handle the dark maze without a lamp. Or at
Well, I
least
just
taking
used
a lot of
I just
practice.
used a quake just to be safe.
Oh, so you didn't get the lamp ever?
I got the lamp after checking. So when only Desert was left, I went
Okay.
for the fast entrance, but checked those 2 chests before.
I'm sure you were very happy to
Well,
see it at that point.
I
when it
I
was
definitely needed that one. Nah, it was fine. I didn't die at least in dark rooms, or just pod really.
Yeah, your dark rooms were actually pretty good. The turtles got away from you a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't know about the light remaining in the middle of the room after the torches go out.
Yeah,
That was
that's
new for
some
me to see.
interesting glitch, but
And a very useful glitch too.
just the middle stays lighted. So
yeah. Well, that once you get the torch lit in there, it's
Right.
all easy. That's the only thing that's a challenge in darkness for the most part. But yeah, if I haven't checked that cave yet, and I still have to do darkness, at least in this version, in this V18, that's like the lamp cave right there. Or do Thieves first. I don't know if you did Thieves, but it's either
I
there or
did collect
Thieves.
everything in Thieves.
Well, all right. We can talk randomizer shop all night long, but I'm gonna cut it off here.
Because I think we all need some sleep.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
I'm gonna go have some breakfast.
Yeah, you guys are maybe you're so focused on your own thing that you're maybe not aware this ended up being one of the most exciting finishes to a race.
Well, I'm glad people enjoyed.
Yeah. I guess my last 2 races were exciting, if nothing else. I wish I would have done enough stupid things that I would be in this tiebreaker.
That it wouldn't have to be so exciting. It could have been a clean win, but regardless, thank you so much, jkoper. You do go out in the tournament with a win here at the end, and you must be in the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament as well, right?
Yes, I have a match tomorrow night.
Yeah, so
someone type in a exclamation point Z1R for.
I'll beat them to it. By the time they hear it, it's already in there. Boom, there it is. So you can still follow the runners if you want to see them practicing for various other things. Chrouya, congratulations on entering into this 3-way tie.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Executing on it took a couple tries, but you did eventually get the Master Sword Silverless kill on Ganon.
Yeah. It's a very hard thing to do, and we're glad to see it done.
Yeah, so fantastic job. Good luck to both of you going forward in your respective Zelda tournaments. This is it for Speed Gaming tonight.
Thanks for the commentary.
Quite welcome.
It was a lot of fun. What are you gonna do, Magus? Are you gonna go to bed?
I probably am, because I am tired and I gotta be up early in the morning.
All right. Well, I'm Mythical 9 and my sleep schedule's messed up, so I'll be up for quite a while longer. And I'm kind of wired now after that race, so unfortunately, I've got nothing left to give you here on twitch.tv/speedgaming. We are done for tonight, but you can come back in less than 24 hours. 7:45 Eastern, so that's 16 and a half hours or so for more Link to the Past randomizer. That's going to be Zarby versus Triple Z.
Oh, the Z match.
Yeah, it is. And I am Canadian, but his name actually says ZED, so I said it right. Yeah, if you want to see that, you want to come back here in about 16 and a half hours. There's a schedule that you guys can check because there's other stuff on the channel coming up as well.
You know, I wonder if they're both Canadian. Zarby is Canadian, and you would think with a name like Triple Z, there's a decent chance he is.
I bet. I wouldn't know who to root for in that race then. I don't know. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Thanks so much for coming out and watching some Link to the Past randomizer here in the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast. We're gone. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.